Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
Good day, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to use your computer as a host instead of purchasing your domain name and hosting, and also how to install WordPress on your local host. First things first, you have to download a local host. We're going to be using XAMPP for this tutorial, and go on Google and search for XAMPP. The website is apachefriends.org, and you can click the download link there. Once that is done, you download the one for your system. I'm using a 64-bit Windows, so I can download any of these and it's going to work. These are the versions. You have 7.1, 7.2 and 7.3, so you can download whichever one you want. You have for Linux, and for those with their Mac OS, you can download from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and skip this part because I already have XAMPP on my laptop, and all you have to do is click really, and it's going to take you to the download page. The download should start automatically. So I'm just going to cancel this because I already have the setup file. Once that is done, you go on to the place you downloaded it to, and this is mine. It's a pretty old version, 5.6, but it's still going to get the job done, no worries. And you install. It's taking. So you give it the permission, yes. So the setup file is coming up right now, and you see this warning that says important because an activated user on your system. Some functions of XAMPP are possibly restricted, blah blah blah. Just press OK, and all you have to do from here on out is next, 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 and finish. Just keep clicking on next until you get to finish, and you finish. I can't go further than this because I already have XAMPP on my laptop, unless I'll have to delete XAMPP from my system. So it says the selected folder is not empty because I already have this folder on my system. So I'm just going to cancel this, but all you have to do is click next till the end, yeah, and go on. Now once XAMPP is installed, the next thing for you to do is create a folder somewhere on your system. I'm going to create one on my downloads. I'm just going to create one on my desktop here. Create a new folder and call it any name you want. I'm just going to give mine web dev. Then you go to your browser and visit wordpress.org, wordpress.org, and when you're here, you see on the menu there's a button that says get WordPress. So you just click on get WordPress and download the file. So just let it download, and I already have web dev here and I have WordPress. So this is the file. When it downloads, it's going to come in as a zip file, and I saved mine when I downloaded it earlier in my downloads folder. So I have the WordPress here, 5.1.1. that's the newest version there. Once that is done, you You can do this later, but I advise you just do everything at once. So once you go offline, you know you're offline. So you go to the themes segment or section, and basically you can download any theme you want, go through the themes you need or they have there, and you can also search. um let's search for Mesmerize. That's a nice theme here, and you can download it. Save. You can also download there's so many themes you can download here, and you can just search really something related to what you need, educational for example, and you have themes that will come up in that aspect. And these are themes relating to education, so you can download. And after that you go to plugins. Once you get to plugins, you need to search for Elementor. Now Elementor is a page builder, as you can see the name here, Elementor page builder, and it basically has so many add-ons to it, and these add-ons are things you would normally download a fresh plugin for, but with Elementor you have, it's kind of like an all-in-one, although yes, it's not all in one, but you have most 90% of the things you might need to build a website or an average website. You can use Elementor for that. So I'm just going to download it, and as you can see I have Elementor here, so I really don't need to download this. So once that is done, the next thing you do is you launch your XAMPP. So go to Start and search for XAMPP, and I use Start because it's what you do if you are running a Windows 7 or Windows 8. For those on Windows 10, you can simply come here, type to search, and search right there, and click on the XAMPP control panel. Sometimes when you click on it, it might not open up immediately, might not come up. So you need to come to your taskbar here and click on this arrow, and you see the XAMPP logo there. Just right click on it, and click show or hide. Now you have two services we're going to use. We have two services here. We have 5 actually here, but we're going to be using 2. We have the Apache and MySQL. So by default it's going to be showing start. So I want you to click on start for Apache and start for MySQL. Now sometimes, depending on the applications running on your system, Apache might not start. So you just have to go ahead and start MySQL. You have to go ahead and start MySQL, and once that is done, you can now proceed to the next one. And before proceeding, I'm just gonna move my web dev folder to my desktop so we can access it easily. So we have web dev, and you can see the files in it. I have other themes aside the ones we downloaded just now, and I just put in the XAMPP installation folder installation file there, and you have Astra Sites, Best Education, Educational, Elementor is the plugin, Mesmerize is the theme, Shark Education, Spa Beauty, and what have you. So the next thing you do, you open the folder and extract these files one by one. So I'm just going to delete these ones that I already extracted. Okay, so we're back, and the files have been deleted, and so we're going to extract these files one by one, and you can also download your Notepad++. This could come in handy. You can use the actual Notepad for this, which is every Windows computer has Notepad, and you can use the traditional Notepad, but it doesn't really have a nice feel to it. So you might want to download Notepad++ and just go on Google, type Notepad++, and yeah, you have the website right there, Notepad++/download. Here, and just download it according to whatever system you have. You have the 64-bit and 32 bits. So just download the installer and go ahead to click next till you're done installing, right? Okay, like I said, you can use the traditional notepad if you don't want to use this, or if you don't want to download it. Now the next thing you do is extract these files one by one. So I click on WordPress, right click, extract files. Okay, I do the same for the other ones. Now while the files are being extracted and my system is running a bit slow, so we can actually continue doing this while that is done. Make sure, once again, make sure your Apache is running and your MySQL is running. And if Apache is not running, then it's, but always try to get it to run, because if your system needs it to run and you don't run it, this won't work. So go into your URL bar and type in localhost. From localhost, you go to phpMyAdmin. Now what we're doing in this phpMyAdmin is creating a database for the newbies. A database is a storage facility. So here is where your login details for your WordPress is going to be stored. The user information will be stored here. If you're doing a blog, your comments and the time for comments and all that will be stored here. Even your posts will be stored here. So you have to create a new database for this WordPress you're going to be using. So I'm going to click new and give it a name. So I'm just going to call this tutorial DB and create. This is all we are going to be doing on this database aspect. We're not going anywhere else. We're not doing any other thing on the database. WordPress will do the rest for us. So you can close your browser for now, or you can just minimize it if you want. I'm going to minimize mine and minimize XAMPP as well. Now these things are still extracting for some reason. Okay, the next thing you do is you open your WordPress folder, the WordPress 5.1.1. Once you open it, there's a folder called in it. Now that folder, you can rename it to anything you want. So it's ideal to give it according to whatever you want to build. So I'm just going to call mine tutorial, right? So let's assume it's going to be a tutorial website. I'm calling mine tutorial. Next thing you do is you copy it. You copy the whole folder, tutorial, and you go to your C drive. You could see a local disk, C, your name, C. As long as you are seeing this C with the colon, it's not a problem. So you go to your C drive, you go to the XAMPP folder, htdocs, and you paste the folder right here. After pasting, you go into the folder, you see a file called wp-config sample. Now this file gives you access to the database and all that. So you open the file, and we're going to work on three things when this file comes up. Once it's open, you change the database name to whatever you created in phpMyAdmin, and I used tutorial DB, so I'm going to keep this here. Now, as long as you are running on a local host and your database user by default is root and the password is null, which is empty, so you're just going to leave that empty. If you are running on a web host, you have to create your own database user and create a password for your database user, but because this is a local host, the default is root and the password is empty. You can also add the password for root anytime you want. I'm not going to go into all that. You can go on YouTube and you see tutorials on how to do that, and you can see right now I wiped the whole thing that says password here. Just wipe everything out and leave it blank. Here I removed username here and put in root there. I removed database name here and put in tutorial DB. Now you don't save this file, but instead you save it as. So you take out the sample from it. Now it's wp config, because the sample file still has to remain there, and it has to remain there the way it was. So you're going to save this as a new file, wp config.php, of course, and save. If you don't type in the username or password correctly, it's going to show you error establishing database connection. So it's going to mean you made a mistake in this file. So you have to come back here and check it properly. Now let's close our notepad. You can see the wp config file is here now. And the next thing you do is you open your browser one more time and type in localhost slash the name of your website folder. Now, this is the name of my website folder, the folder you copied into the htdocs, and mine is tutorial. So type in localhost slash tutorial. It's going to load. And it says WordPress installation at the top here. So you have to choose your language. And I'm going to go with the default language, English, United States. Continue. Now it's asking for your site title. I'm just going to call this tutorial site. And for the username, let me just give it admin. You can give it whatever you want. I'm just going to call mine admin. And for the password as well, you can give anything you want, but I'm going to give pass, just something really short. And because pass is something anybody can think of and it's really short, it says it's very weak. So I'm just going to confirm use of weak password. And you can put any email you want. I'm going to use admin@tutorial.com. You can use whatever you want. I'm just going to use that. And this is not a real email, and I'm not going to use the site online, so I can afford to put whatever I want in there. So you can install WordPress. Whilst the installation is going on, which shouldn't take too long, go back to your web dev file or folder. I want you to copy Elementor. You go basically there, you're going back. You go into the Elementor folder and copy it, and go to Windows, the C drive again, to your website folder, so htdocs and tutorial. Now this time when you're here, you go to WP content, which is where the content for your website will be stored, or basically will be worked on, right? And I copied Elementor. Elementor is a plugin, so it goes to the plugin folder, and I'm just going to paste it here. There's another way to do this, but sometimes it might not work, so I'm just doing this real quick. And go back to the web dev folder again and copy the themes you need. So I'm just going to take best education and mesmerize. You can copy it like that if you want. It's still going to work. And go back to your C drive, go to XAMPP, basically go back to your website folder, WP content again. Now those are themes, so they go into the theme folder, and you press paste. So let's check on our website if it has completely installed. If it shows this blank page, it's fine, it's installed successfully. Now on your URL bar, you type in again localhost slash your website folder tutorial slash WP admin. WP-admin, okay? This will take you to the login page for your website. And once you press enter, it's going to load and you'll have to input your username and password. So I'm just going to input admin and password is pass and login. So there you have it. You have successfully installed your WordPress on your local host. And you can check the plugins. You can see Elementor here because we copied Elementor into this, so you can see Elementor there. Now you're seeing this update because I'm still connected to the internet. If I wasn't, I wouldn't be able to do anything online through this place. So you can activate this, activate your Elementor. I'm not going to let it update because, but if you download it immediately, it's not going to ask you for any updates, right? Mine was, I downloaded my Elementor a few a few days back. So I'm activating. And it says you can see Elementor now on the sidebar, which means plugin activated at the top here. Now you go to themes, so appearance and themes. Once you are there, you see the themes you added to your website. I added Best Education and Mesmerize. 2019, 2017, and 2016 are always added automatically. So these are the two we added here. So you choose whichever one you want and activate. There you have it. And I'm Kika Unduka, and this is how to install WordPress on your local hosts. Thank you very much, and hope to see you next time.